Thank you, brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Uno, uno. Good morning. I was playing a little. Good morning, church. Let's begin with our class. Okay, first of all, prayer requests. Prayer requests. Excuse me? Yes, sir, Mr. Junior Wadley, please keep him in your prayers. Miss Debbie?
Our granddaughter, grandson, overseas. One places I don't particularly care for her to be. We aren't able to know exactly where she is. The other one is in a much safer location, Australia, but very far away.
Okay. Who else? Okay.
Two grandsons of mine and my son. They just they're on drugs and because of it.
Okay. We will keep them in our prayers. Slade, could you pray?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. God, we just come before you, and Father, we've had several names mentioned this morning. We just want to lay each and every one of these with thee. Father, especially mindful of Junior, who's just gone through a stroke, and Father, pray that you'll just restore his health. Be with the family as they go through this with him. And Father, pray that you'll just pour strength and healing into
Okay. I will tell you something first. A couple of you have asking me about. Have asking me about the class of the Book of Revelation, even today, and I will tell you. We will. We will have our Revelation class for fall. So we will spend fall studying the book of Revelation. So be ready. Mark your calendars. We'll be here, and it will be a totally different way to see the book of Revelation. So be ready for it. Stay tuned here. For now, we will have our second class on the book of Jonah. Let's see. What did we learn from the last class? Let's see. Let's see if you remember. Not all at once, just take turns, please. Well, okay, one of the minor prophets, yes. What else?
Asked to go to Nineveh.
Correct. He was asked by God to go to Nineveh. What else? Out of Israel. Very, very good. He was the only prophet of all the Israel prophets who was asked to go out of Israel. Very good. What else?
He didn't follow God's instructions.
Yes, sir. Can you repeat it, please?
He didn't follow God's instructions.
He didn't follow God's instructions. Very good. What else we have from Jonah last class?
He went really far out of his way to not obey God. Really far.
Beautiful too. He decided to go very far from God just to not obey God's instructions. Very good. There is another thing that will be very useful for our class.
But he really, Israel had been destroyed by Syria.
Okay.
And now he's being asked to go to the nation that probably killed relatives and starved them out with so a horrible history of how they were treated.
That's beautiful. And let's put it in another words. Why? Do you remember why he doesn't want to go to Nineveh?
He was angry because God wanted to save them.
What?
He was angry because God wanted to save them.
He was angry. It's okay because God wants to save those people here. What else?
Because he hated them, they would have enemies.
They hate the people from Nineveh. Remember, Nineveh was the capital of the what empire? Assyrian. That is not the same that Syria. Syria and Assyria are completely different. Yes, the capital of the Assyrian Empire. He wants God to destroy that people because he understood that the people from the Assyrian Empire were the enemies. Why? Mr. Bill said they have been destroying, they have been conquering the land of Israel. So it is very weird to love the people who you think are destroying you. Yes, Mr. Slade
Well, what's
Newman
interesting
Moore.
is Jonah knew that God was a loving God, that he loves everyone, because the message that we're told that he was to give to the people of Nineveh was not repent or, repent so that you can be saved. He said repent because God's going to destroy you. Jonah was never given a message of salvation, but Jonah knew that God was a God of salvation.
Correct.
Which is really, really awesome. That he knew that God was a loving God. And so oftentimes people look at the God of the Old Testament and they're like, well
That's correct. Remember, when we put all these pieces together, now we understand that Jonah was full of our prejudices against Assyria. Then last Sunday we talked about the beginnings and the rejection of God, and we were talking about chapter 1, just verses 1 through 3. Now we will start with the second part. What do we have? The book of Jonah is a novel. For that reason, you don't see Jonah as the other prophets. The author uses irony in the plot of the book, and we will see more about that. And number 3, Jonah's disobedience was based on racial, political, and religious prejudice against Assyria. So the last thing that we teach about is, remember, if we have these kind of prejudices now, racial, political, and religious prejudice. Racial prejudices, they are Assyrian. They are not worthy. Political, they have a different king, and their king has a different political view, and they deserve to be destroyed. And religious, they don't follow our God. They should be destroyed. And all of this is the reason why Jonah, he says, oh, if I go and I teach, they will be saved, because I know God. But I know they have a different religion, they are pagans, they have a different political views, they have racial issues, so I don't want to see heaven like that in heaven. And a poor understanding of God. So we have our summary of last class. Now we will have plot number 2 in the book of Jonah. And the plot number 2 is prophetical disobedience. We end the class last Sunday talking about this. Jonah chapter 1 verses 4 and 5 looks very similar. Mark chapter 4 verse 37, 38. Can you see it? Question for you. Why do you think it looks similar? Or let me do the question again. What are the similarities that you can see? Okay, a storm. What? Fear. Good. What else you can see that is similar? Correct. What else? There's another thing. The up and downs of the faith, of course. I will summarize it. In both texts we have a storm, and the people is scared about the storm. That's number 2. Number 3, the sailors start to call their gods. Now the disciples start to call Jesus. Number 4, Jonah was sleeping, Jesus was sleeping here. Why? We have these similarities in these 2 Bible texts. Number 1, and this is the easy one, Mark is using Jonah to write his gospel. And this is what we call intertextuality. The intertextuality is when an author of the New Testament use the same frame or structure of an Old Testament story to write a piece like that. So we have another example. Now I'm not gonna tell. Well, I will tell you just one example. And for those who know that I'll be speaking in Abilene Christian University in October, this is what I'm talking about. And I'll tell Slade, you can tell me. You can see the first book of Samuel and the Gospel of Luke. In the first book of Samuel, chapter 1, you can see the would start seeing the temple with a priest serving in the temple, and then his wife, who is sterile, she's praying about a kid, and she received a kid, and the name of the kid is Samuel. If you read the chapter 1 of the book of Luke, the Gospel of Luke, you will see the Gospel of Luke starts in the temple with a priest serving in the temple, and now we have his wife who is sterile, who is praying for a kid, and the name of this kid is John the Baptist. Luke is using the same thing to write his gospel just as the first book of Samuel. And we have here the authors of the New Testament are using the Old Testament to write their own gospel. And we can go with a couple of examples on how they use it and why they use the same structure and the same frame. Because the people who are receiving the gospels know the stories. They know the book of Jonah, they know the book of Samuel, and it's easy if I give you a story with elements that you already know. And what is the intention of that? Recorded in your mind. If I know previous elements, it is easier to memorize it. And number two, as I told you, I don't know if you remember, the Gospel of Mark was written to be performed as a theater, as a, how can I say it? Yeah, thank you. How wise. Then it is written to be act. Then it's easier to memorize this script if I already know this story. But also, we will see in this chapter that the Gospels are using Jonah because Jonah is a representation, is a kind of representation of Jesus. And we will see it in a couple of chapters. Then, remember, Jonah was here. God told him to come here, but he preferred to go here, just not to obey God. And just what Katie said about it, he was very ready to go too far, just not to obey God. And the question that we did last Sunday is, how far are you able to go just not following God instructions? Where's my? I need to select another reader. Now we have our third case of irony. This storm. If you read chapter 1, verses 4 to 9, who can read it?
And the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God. And they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went to him and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us, so that we will not perish." Then the sailors said to each other, "Come, let us cast lots to find out who is responsible for this calamity." They cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. So they asked him, "Tell us, who is responsible for making all this trouble for us? What kind of work do you do? Where do you come from? What is your country? From what people are you?"
Interesting. Why this is a case of irony? Because we will make the contrast. Jonah was God's prophet, but he was acting in bloodline disobedience. Blayland, sorry. Thank you. The sailors were what? But they were concerned about the events taking place and were sensitive to the moment. When the storm comes, Jonah was doing what? Sleeping. Because he was heading to his place, running out from God. But the sailors, being pagans, they were very concerned about what's happening. And for that reason, they start to say, like, who's your God? Start to call your God. Let's see if something happened. Yes? Well, Jonah, he got his prejudice that he was running uh, far from God. Still, does he still believe in God? Yeah, in his proper way. He got his ideas of God, wrong ideas, by the way. For that reason, he's sleeping. He's not concerned about it. But the people, pagan people, they are concerned about it. And look, the Bible has two things that tell us. Number one is the first book of Chronicles. During the war of David, David says he was trying to find people who understand the times. And he talks about the people from the tribe of Issachar. He said, I'm looking for those people because they understand the times. Number one. And Jesus says to the people, like, you see the heaven and you know when it's going to rain. You know the seasons and stuff like that, and you understand the times, but you don't understand when God is speaking. That's your problem. And they have this. He has the same problem. He's disobedient. He's sleeping in the middle of a storm, and the sailors, who were pagans, they are concerned about it. But he answered. What is his answer about all the questions? Now comes the pride. I am Hebrew and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. Isn't it curious that he's disobeying God, but when the time comes, because he's talking to pagan people, he thinks he's better than the pagan people. Who are you? And say, I'm Hebrew. I'll be protected. You need to take care of the storm. I'm God's child. Let's put it in 2025 words. I'm Christian. Nothing wrong is going to happen to me. I'm from the Church of Christ, so I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. And we have here orthodoxy without orthopraxis, what it means. The word ortho in Greek means right or straight. Doxy means in Greek what you know about it, your beliefs. I am Hebrew. We worship the Lord, the God of the heaven, who made the sea and the dry land. That statement is right. It means he was orthodox. He got the right beliefs. But this word, ortho, what it means, ortho? Right or straight. And praxis means, I will put it in an English word, practice, what you do. He got the right beliefs, but it's not coherent with his actions. We have a church pride because we are supposed to be the people who got the truth and stuff like that. But it will be not coherent with our actions. You can believe in the right way, but if your actions are not right, listen, is wrong too. Are we okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have amen here? Okay.
Amen.
If we say that we have the right beliefs, we should have also the right actions. And you have in the Gospel of Mark Jesus talking about that. Jesus said, I don't care about your sacrifices because you don't take care of the poor and the needy. If you really worship the Lord, you should take care of the poor and the needy. And I'm talking about the poor or the needy just as an example. You can put in this whatever you want. And also you have the book of Amos. Perfect for this topic. The book of Amos. The book of Amos. But now we have Jonah. The God of heaven, Hebrew. I worship the Lord in a proper way. That's the correct translation of this Hebrew word. I worship the right Lord with the right actions. And God is the God of the heaven and stuff like that. And I am Hebrew, but where you are, you are not sheep running from God. What kind of servant of God is that? So we need to think if we are in this kind of, if we are Jonah, just to say it, when we think, I believe the right things and I participate of the Lord's Supper every Sunday and I sing without instruments and not, the women are not participating in the cults and stuff like that. But what about your actions? Okay?
Okay.
Nice. I mean, it is good to have the right beliefs. I'm not against that, of course. But the evidence of the right beliefs are the right actions. Okay? These two are walking together. Also, you can have, let's put it in another scenario, you can have the right actions, but if you don't believe the right things, also you are wrong. Okay? You need to have a balance between them. Okay. Mr. Bob, and after, okay.
You know, Jesus addressed that very issue with the Jews at his time on several occasions. They seem to behave as if, because that's what they taught, that their salvation came from being a Jew, not doing what God said. There's a big difference. And I suspect some people probably, are like that today.
And also for that reason, Jesus says, do what they do. You know? They are doing the right things. But don't be like they are. They are different. They are hypocrites. And do you know the meaning of the word hypocrite? It's an actor. They are just performing. That is not the right thing. Okay, here.
Yes, so in Jonah's response to who are you and calling the God and who you worship, he was hypocritical and he was not.
Correct.
So today as Christians, aren't we labeled as Orthodox Christians?
Can you repeat?
I was saying today, aren't we labeled as Orthodox Christians?
Yeah, we have that label. Like, if I have the right label, and let's put it in a very funny way. In my country, I don't know if here, but in my country, the grannies, they took the bucket of ice cream, and they put beans on it. So like frozen beans, just to use it to cook, but not. I mean, the bucket is empty, not with ice cream. Yeah, because people are like, what they do? No. After you eat all the ice cream, they wash it and they put frozen beans on it just to use it a couple of days after. But the kids don't know that. And the kids are like, there's ice cream in the fridge and stuff like that. They take the cook and say, oh my goodness, our beans. It's the same. They used to, they think it is ice cream because the label says ice cream. But when you open it, what you see inside of the bucket, frozen beans. And we hate to see that. then it is the same. The label, the right label, ice cream. But when you see what is inside of the bucket, you say, this is not ice cream. And it is the same thing. And the Lord is looking for what is inside. The Lord is trying to find ice cream in ice cream buckets. So my invitation to you is to have ice cream when you say that you have the right label of ice cream. So we have this here. The sea was getting that word and rougher. So they asked him, what should we do to make the sea calm down for us? What is this verse trying to tell us? The pagans were looking for solutions to obey what is happening, not Jonah. And what Jonah says, pick me up and throw me into the sea, he replied, and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you. And I don't want to take a lot of time explaining that, but what he's trying to say, kill me. But if you kill me, it have a double purpose. If you kill me, I'm not going to preach. There you got it?
So he wasn't being sacrificial.
Yeah, no, he was, throw him into the sea. And in the Hebrew, it is well explained, this idea. Oh, yeah, throw me. Maybe it will be fixed. But we have our fourth case of irony. Yeah.
He was being disobedient even to the point of death.
What?
So he was being disobedient even to the point of death.
Yeah. Because of his prejudice and hate.
Yeah, so that goes further than Tarshish.
So Jonah, and let me tell you, no, I'm not going to tell you this because I will tell you this in the 4th chapter. Jonah, the disobedience of Jonah is very, very interesting. But I will give you a couple of these more. Okay, we have the verses 13 through 16. Instead, the men did their best to row back to land, but they could not, for the sea grew even wilder than before. Then they cried out the Lord. Who cried out the Lord? Pagan people. 4th case of irony. Jonah is not praying the Lord, calm this storm. No, kill me. But who are praying that? The pagans. Please, Lord, do not let us die for taking this man's life. They don't want to kill people. Jonah was willing to God kill the people of Nineveh. Do you understand the irony here? The contrast between the prophet of God and the pagan people. For you, Lord, have done as you pleased. Then take Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. Now read it. At this, the men greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. Do you understand that? Jonah was trying to run from God. But God is using his disobedience, and in this case here, the pagan people start to serve God. Jonah, and that perhaps I use this beautiful image here. Jonah, even in his disobedience, is an instrument of God. Pagan sailors are believing in God even when Jonah is disobeying. Correct. So what does it teach us? God will use you even if you don't want. Or God will use you. God will use your disobedience to bring people to Him. It doesn't matter if you don't want. It doesn't matter your prejudices. God will do His work. So do not say like I'm not gonna do it, or you say I'm important for the work of the Lord. No, if you don't do it, someone will do it. If the people do not talk, the stones will talk. And now we have, it's like, and I put it in a funny way in my head when Jonah say like, okay, I will run from God. I will go to Nineveh. And God said, oh, I'm not going to go to Nineveh. I will go to Tarshish. And God said, okay, we will find each other in Nineveh. Do whatever you want. I'll find you in Nineveh. Take your time. It doesn't matter. Take your time. We will see each other again at Nineveh. And now what we have here is God has already begun to use him against his will and his prejudices. Yes, sir?
Yeah, we also need to note that in verse 9, he made the statement before, I am a Hebrew and I worship the Lord God. Heaven, who made the sea and the dry land, he testified to them as to who is for them.
Correct.
Jonah may have unwillingly done so, but he spoke to those people and he said, this is who's doing this. This is God, the creator.
Correct.
And they, from that situation, that was helping to teach them that that's who God was. So he, like I say, God, he may have unintentionally made these statements that led to that, but they knew from that situation that was the God, that was the teaching that they got.
Correct. He's trying to use his pride. He showed his pride about God. But God is using this speech just to communicate the truth to the pagan sailors. And what do we have also here? Who is the true obedient worshiper? The prophet of God, the so-called prophet of God, or the pagan sailors? The sailors were saved twice. They saved their lives from the storm, and when they believe in God, their souls were saved. So God was using fully Jonah to save people from the sea, because when they threw him overboard, the storm calmed down. And also, when they believe in God, they were saved. It was interesting how God used even our evil, our prejudices, and stuff like that. Now we have another case, and all people know Jonah because of this. No, the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, we are not gonna discuss what kind of fish. There's a lot of people that are very creative about that, with a very, how can I say, fertile, very, I don't know. I just want to say creative mind. It was a shark, it was a whale, blue whale, gray whale, stuff like that. It doesn't matter. The Bible says a fish, and that's enough. Big fish. We don't know if God created just one fish for that moment. I don't know. Then don't be creative about that. Then, and when he is in the belly of the fish, he sing a whole psalm. And this is a very interesting psalm because also Jonah is in a conversion process. If you read this psalm, it looks very good, but look how many times he used the word I or me. Looks a beautiful song, beautiful song, but he's always thinking about himself. distress called to the Lord, and he answered me from the deep in the realm of the dead. And if you read it, you will see all the times he used the word I, me. He's thinking about him. And now we have the second part. We have this psalm could be divided in two parts. Part number one is the relation of Jonah and God before this event, and he's like throwing a lot of bad things on people who follow idols. I am good, they are bad. Then what we have here? What are the common elements of this prayer, the Jonah? The death as a relevant element, the hand of God, salvation, and the temple. The death, why? Remember what happened in the middle of the storm, but also the death is a very relevant topic in Jewish thoughts. The hand of God, who made the storm, who saved him. The salvation, the final result of these events, and the temple. Remember, what is the meaning of the temple for the Jewish people? The temple is the center of their religious lives. Sacrifices, worship, prayers, things happen in the temple. And I will explain a little bit more in the book of Revelation of that. What we have here, a faith that is built in the process. And number two, sometimes even a prophet needs to deconstruct his faith. And this is beautiful here. Case of irony. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it what? Jonah onto the dry land. The sailors obeyed God, being pagans. The fish obeyed God's command, being an animal. The prophet did not obey. Interesting, right? Pagan people, not the people of God, they obey. An animal obey. The chosen one, no. This is our fifth case of irony in the book of Jonah. The contrast between the nature, the animals, the pagans obeying God, but the prophet is not obeying. So be careful, my dear brothers and sisters. We need to be very intentional in analyze our lives, because it's much better sometimes to be like the fish, like an animal obeying, than be disobedient. Be careful, and let's analyze our own lives just to see if our prejudices, if our political views, racial views, religious views are fighting against God, just like Jonah. What?
The 12 apostles that God chose, and he said, one of you are a devil. I have 12 apostles, but one of you are a devil. That was Judah.
Correct. Judah, yeah, correct. And it says, and the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah into the dry land. And remember, this is the path of Jonah, from Israel to Nineveh. For the next class, because this is the last thing, we will start here in Nineveh. Now, what do we have from Jonah? All these prejudices, and now we know, but also you have that the book of Jonah is trying to tell us about the irony that the prophet, the chosen, is not obeying, the chosen is against God until say, kill me. I don't want to obey. But the pagans are willing to obey. The fish is willing to obey. And then it has to draw a big picture about the disobedience, the pride, the prejudice, and how far we are able to go running from the commandments of God. And I say, people here, beautiful people here. If you read the gospel, second book of the Kings, it says that Jonah helped. He was a prophet. This is not his first mission as prophet. The second book of the Kings, chapter 14, verse 25, from 23 to 26, says that Jonah was a prophet during the reign of Jeroboam II. And he did his mission. It means he was called by God. He got the gift to do the will of God. But now, when he got a different mission against his comfort zone, he's totally disobedient. So for the next class, yes, Mr. Bill?
It reminds me of Jesus telling the story of the Pharisee and publican who went up to pray. Pharisee was all about being right. The publican had a contrite heart, very much like Jonah's all about himself, like that Pharisee. And those pagan people became more like the publican.
Yeah, he was praying like, thank you God, because I'm not like this publican.
Yeah.
And remember, in the Jewish Talmud, there's a prayer who says, God, thank you because I'm not women. Thank you because I'm not pagan. But obviously, Jesus is against that. And as you notice, the first people who announced the resurrection were women. And this is a very countercultural and beautiful picture of God announcing. And if you read the last chapters of the Passion of Christ, you will see that at the very beginning, how the Passion started with a woman who anoint his body. And then at the very crucifixion, there was women watching all the when they crush his body. And in the front of the cross, there's a woman watching. And the first disciples who go to the tomb were women. And the first people who Christ says announce the resurrection, women. Women from the very beginning to the end. Then women, you are special. Okay. Then okay, my fellas here. For the next class, you will see Jonah arrive in Nineveh. What happens, what he did, and what is the conversation that he had with God. So I will ask my dear brother, Mr. Steve, to pray and close this class and dismiss this class. And I will see you. Let's worship together in our auditorium.
Dear Father in heaven, we just want to thank you so much for Pastor Luis for seeing us. We ask that everything we have heard here will sink into our minds and memories. And you know, we ask that as we move on to our regular worship, you know, we have our minds ready. And we just thank you so much for blessing us with good instructors and good ministers in this church. So we pray.
Great job.
Thank you, sir.
I have comments, but you have so much information, I don't want to get in the way. But I was thinking,
Yes, sir.
you know how, like, have you ever heard it said that people don't fight war, leaders do?
People?
People don't fight wars, leaders do.
Okay.
Okay. So you think about how Jonah felt about the Syrians. It was because of his leadership and his community and the people and the way they have framed. And the Syrians thought bad about them.
Yeah.
Because of the way. So think about Ukraine.